Across our planet, in its most extreme and seemingly inhospitable corners, humanity has always found a way. We are a species driven by an instinct not just to survive, but to build, to create communities, and to put down roots. But what happens when those roots are planted in places that defy logic? Places where the very earth seems to resist our presence, where isolation is a way of life, and where survival demands extraordinary ingenuity and courage. These are not just houses, they are testaments to the unyielding human spirit. Our journey today will take us to the very edges of what seems possible. We'll ascend to dizzying mountain heights where monasteries touch the clouds and towns cling precariously to sheer cliff faces. We will delve deep into the earth, exploring ancient cities carved from volcanic rock, and we will venture across vast oceans to islands so remote they are almost a world unto themselves. Each location presents a unique set of challenges, a unique story of adaptation and resilience that has unfolded over centuries, or even millennia. These are places that can inspire awe, bewilderment, and perhaps a touch of vertigo just by looking at them. They force us to reconsider our own definition of home and what we are capable of when faced with the ultimate challenge of nature. So, prepare for a journey to the extraordinary. Let's explore 5 of the world's most jaw-dropping, isolated, and sometimes terrifying places people call home. Our first destination takes us to the plains of Thessaly in central Greece. Here, an astonishing geological phenomenon dominates the landscape. Enormous pillars of dark sandstone, sculpted by wind and water over millions of years, rise vertically from the ground like silent colossal sentinels. They seem to belong to another world entirely. And yet, perched impossibly on their summits, are structures that defy gravity itself. The monasteries of Meteora. The name itself, Meteora, means suspended in the air, and it is a perfectly fitting description. The story of Meteora begins over 1,000 years ago with hermit monks seeking solitude and a closer connection to God. These early ascetics, known as stylites, would live atop these pillars for years, isolating themselves from the temptations of the world below. They believed that by enduring such physical hardship and moving closer to the heavens, they could achieve spiritual purity. Their supplies, and, indeed, the monks themselves, were hoisted up in nets and baskets, a perilous journey that tested their faith with every ascent. Building these magnificent structures was a feat of almost unimaginable difficulty and devotion. With no roads and no machinery, every single stone, every wooden beam and every tile had to be hauled up the sheer rock faces, piece by painstaking piece. It was said that the ropes and nets were only replaced when the Lord let them break, a chilling testament to the faith required to live here. The monks created not just places of worship, but self-sufficient communities, complete with chapels, libraries, and living quarters, all balanced hundreds of meters above the valley floor. For centuries, this isolation was their greatest protection. The monasteries were virtually impregnable, providing a safe haven from political turmoil and invasion that swept across the plains below. The monks could continue their life of prayer and contemplation, undisturbed by the chaos of the outside world. The very act of reaching their home was a formidable deterrent to any would-be aggressor. It was a fortress of faith, built on a foundation of solid rock and unwavering belief. Today, the world has found its way to Meteora. The perilous ropes and nets have largely been replaced by bridges, staircases carved into the rock, and even a cable car system for supplies. Tourists now flock to marvel at these architectural wonders, and only a handful of the original 24 monasteries remain active, housing a small number of monks and nuns. The profound silence and isolation that the original builders sought has been replaced by the hum of modern life. Yet even with the influx of visitors, the awe-inspiring majesty of Meteora remains. Standing on one of these balconies with the world spread out far below, one can still feel a sense of that original purpose. It is a profound connection between the earth and the sky, a place where human ambition and spiritual yearning were made manifest in stone and timber. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes, to find peace, one must be willing to climb to extraordinary heights. We now travel east, to the rugged mountainous terrain of Iraqi Kurdistan. Here, nestled atop a vast, flat-topped mountain, lies the ancient city of Amadi. From a distance it appears not so much built upon the mountain as an extension of it. The city covers the entire plateau, its edges defined by the sheer cliffs that drop away on all sides. It is a natural fortress, a citadel in the sky that has watched over the surrounding valleys for millennia. The history of Amedi is etched into its very foundations, a story stretching back at least 3,000 years. It is believed to have been the home of the Magi, or wise men, who journeyed to Bethlehem. Over the centuries, its strategic location made it a coveted prize for a succession of empires, from the Assyrians and Persians to the Romans and Ottomans. Its impenetrable position made it an ideal military stronghold and a center of power in a region often defined by conflict. The city became a symbol of resilience, enduring siege after siege. Living in Amedi presents a unique set of challenges dictated by its geography. The plateau is roughly 1 kilometer long and half a kilometer wide, a finite space for a thriving community. Generations have built their homes here, with new houses often constructed on the foundations of the old. The streets are narrow and winding, a dense maze of stone and history. There is no room for sprawl. The city can only grow upwards, creating a compact, layered urban environment where public and private spaces are intimately intertwined. The single entrance to the city is through a formidable stone gate, a reminder of its past as a fortress. For its inhabitants, life is lived with an ever-present awareness of the edges. Children grow up learning the boundaries of their world are not fences or walls, but a precipitous drop. Water has historically been a precious resource, channeled and stored with great care. Everything that comes into the city, from food to building materials, must be hauled up the mountain slopes. Despite its isolation, Amedi has long been a melting pot of cultures and religions. For centuries, Muslims, Christians, and Jews lived side by side within its walls, their mosques, churches, and synagogues a testament to a history of coexistence. The city's ancient gates and the remnants of its historic schools stand as silent witnesses to its rich and complex past, a center of scholarship and trade that defied its remote location. Today, Amedi is a living museum. Its residents are deeply connected to its long history, many able to trace their lineage back for generations. While modern life has introduced cars and electricity, the fundamental reality of living on a high, isolated plateau remains. It is a place where the past is not just remembered, it is lived in, walked upon, and seen in the faces of the people who call this extraordinary mountaintop city their home. Our journey now leads us to the heart of Anatolia, in modern-day Turkey, to a landscape that seems conjured from a dream. This is Cappadocia. Millions of years ago, volcanic eruptions blanketed this region in thick layers of soft ash, or tuff. Over eons, wind and water went to work, eroding the soft rock into a surreal wonderland of conical spires, mushroom-shaped pillars, and rippling canyons. These formations are known as fairy chimneys, and they lend the region an otherworldly, magical quality. But the true marvel of Cappadocia is not just what nature has created, but how humanity has adapted to it. Instead of building upon the land, people began to build within it. The soft volcanic tuff, while easily eroded by the elements, is also remarkably easy to carve. For thousands of years, inhabitants of this region have chiseled and hollowed out the fairy chimneys, transforming them into homes, churches, and monasteries. Entire communities have been sculpted directly from the living rock. These cave dwellings offered remarkable advantages. They provided natural insulation, staying cool in the blistering summer heat and retaining warmth during the harsh winters. More importantly, they offered sanctuary. Throughout its history, Cappadocia was a crossroads of empires and a refuge for those fleeing persecution. Early Christians, for example, found safety here, carving out elaborate, hidden churches and adorning them with intricate frescoes that can still be seen today, their colors vibrant after more than 1,000 years. The ingenuity of Cappadocia's people, however, did not stop at the surface. When the threat of invasion loomed, they went deeper. Beneath the fairy tale landscape lies another world entirely, a network of vast, subterranean cities, some extending 8 levels down into the earth. Places like Derinkuyu and Kaymakla were not mere hideouts. They were fully functioning underground metropolises, capable of housing tens of thousands of people, along with their livestock and food supplies for months at a time. These underground cities were marvels of ancient engineering. They contained everything needed for survival: living quarters, stables, kitchens with ventilation shafts that reached the surface hundreds of feet above, wineries, chapels, and schools. Massive circular stone doors, weighing several tons each, could be rolled into place to seal off passageways from invaders. It was a staggering solution to the problem of survival, a hidden world designed to protect its people from the dangers of the world above. Today, Cappadocia is a world-renowned travel destination. Hot air balloons fill the sky at sunrise, offering a breathtaking perspective of this unique landscape. Many of the cave dwellings have been converted into boutique hotels, offering visitors a chance to experience life inside a fairy chimney. Yet living here still carries risks. The same soft rock that makes carving so easy is also prone to erosion and collapse. Residents must constantly maintain their homes, ever mindful that the very earth they inhabit is in a slow but constant state of flux. We now travel to Catalonia, Spain, to a town that embodies the phrase living on the edge quite literally. Castellfollit de la Roca is a place that seems to defy both gravity and common sense. The entire town is built upon a narrow sliver of basalt rock, a remnant of ancient lava flows. This dramatic promontory is over 50 meters high and stretches for nearly a kilometer, but in some places, it is barely 2 houses wide. On either side, sheer cliffs drop away to the rivers Fluvia and Torinel below. The town's origins are medieval, and its layout reflects a history of needing to be defensible. The houses are packed tightly together, forming a continuous wall along the edge of the cliff. They appear to grow organically from the rock itself, their foundations merging with the dark, volcanic stone upon which they stand. The view from the far end of the town is one of the most striking in all of Spain, a jumble of terracotta roofs and sandstone walls, culminating in the old church of San Salvador, perched right at the precipice. Life in Castellfollit de la Roca is shaped by its precarious geography. The main street runs down the spine of the promontory, with houses branching off to either side, their back windows opening onto a dizzying drop. For the residents, this is simply home. Generations have been born and raised here, accustomed to the compact living space and the constant presence of the void just beyond their walls. The sense of community is strong, forged by the shared, unique circumstances of their home. However, the very foundation of the town is its greatest threat. The basalt cliff is the product of 2 separate lava flows, and the rock is constantly being weathered. Erosion, caused by the rivers below and the elements above, is a slow but relentless force. Chunks of the cliff face have been known to break away, a terrifying reminder of the town's fragile hold on its perch. The residents live with an implicit understanding that their home is not permanent, that the ground beneath their feet is slowly being worn away. This constant creeping danger has led to ongoing monitoring and reinforcement efforts. Geologists study the cliff for signs of instability, and measures are taken to try and slow the inexorable process of erosion. Yet the long-term future of Castellfollit de la Roca is uncertain. How many more centuries can it cling to its narrow ledge before nature reclaims the rock? It's a question that hangs in the air, as present and as palpable as the cliff itself. Despite the risk, the town endures. Its people continue to live their lives, their homes offering some of the most spectacular and perhaps nerve-wracking views imaginable. Castellfollit de la Roca is more than just a picturesque village. It is a testament to the human ability to adapt to even the most precarious of settings. It is a community holding its breath, suspended between the sky and the river, a beautiful, fragile town, living quite literally on the edge of tomorrow. For our final destination, we embark on a journey to one of the most remote inhabited places on Earth. We travel deep into the South Atlantic Ocean, 2,000 kilometers from the nearest continent, to the island of St. Helena. This tiny volcanic outpost is a speck of land in a vast and empty sea, a place of profound isolation. Its capital, Jamestown, is squeezed into a narrow, arid valley, wedged between 2 towering, barren cliffs. St. Helena's history is defined by its remoteness. Discovered by the Portuguese in 1502, it became a vital stopover for ships on the long voyage to the East Indies, but it is most famous as the place of Napoleon Bonaparte's final exile. The British chose it precisely because escape was deemed impossible. The island is surrounded by high cliffs and buffeted by strong ocean currents, a natural prison from which there is no easy return to the world. Life in Jamestown is claustrophobic and vertical. The city is essentially one long street that follows the valley floor from the harbor inland. There is nowhere else to build. The cliffs loom over the town, casting long shadows and creating a sense of being perpetually enclosed. To escape the confines of the valley, one must go up. And the most direct and most intimidating way up is a structure known simply as Jacob's Ladder. This is not a ladder in the conventional sense, but a brutally steep staircase of 699 steps, rising over 180 meters straight up the cliff face. Built in 1829 as an inclined plane to haul goods, it is now a formidable challenge for locals and the few visitors who make it here. Ascending the ladder is a lung-bursting, leg-burning ordeal, but the reward is a staggering view of Jamestown compressed in the valley below and the endless expanse of the Atlantic beyond. It is the ultimate symbol of the island's challenging topography. Until very recently, the only way to reach St. Helena was a 5-day journey by sea on the Royal Mail ship, which visited only a few times a year. This logistical challenge meant that everything from food and fuel to medicine and mail was subject to the ship's schedule. The opening of an airport in 2017 has finally connected the island to the outside world by air, but the sense of isolation remains deeply ingrained in the culture and psyche of the Saints, as the islanders are known. Living here requires a unique form of resilience. It is a life of making do, of community reliance, and of an intimacy with one's neighbors that is rare in the modern world. It is a place where everyone knows everyone, and the arrival of a ship or a plane is a major event. St. Helena is a microcosm of humanity, a tiny, isolated community that has carved out an existence on a lonely rock in the middle of the ocean, a testament to the enduring need for home, no matter how far-flung. From the suspended monasteries of Greece to the lonely outpost of St. Helena, we have witnessed the extraordinary lengths to which people will go to create a home. These communities, perched, carved, and clinging to the most unlikely corners of our world, are not just architectural curiosities. They are profound expressions of human creativity, faith, and sheer, stubborn resilience. They show us that our need for a place to belong can overcome the most formidable obstacles that nature can present. Each location tells a story of adaptation. Whether it's carving a city deep into the earth to escape invaders, or building a town on a knife's edge of rock simply because it was defensible, our ancestors made choices born of necessity and vision. The people who live in these places today are the inheritors of that legacy, living lives shaped by a unique and powerful relationship with their environment. They remind us that the definition of home is infinitely flexible and deeply personal. These places challenge our notions of comfort and security, yet they are cherished homes, rich with history and community. They prove that the human spirit is not easily deterred by a sheer drop, a remote ocean, or a little geological instability. So whether you crave the high ground, a cave with a view, or a town that's literally hanging on by a thread, just remember home is where the heart, and sometimes a little vertigo, is.